Welcome to Cinemagma. In today's video, we will showcase the world premiere video of the 2022 science fiction disaster film titled Moonfall. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel to be notified when new videos are released. In Moonfall, a mysterious force knocks the moon from its orbit around Earth and sends it hurtling on a collision course with life as we know it. With mere weeks before impact and the world on the brink of annihilation, NASA executive and former astronaut Jo Fowler, played by Academy Award winner Halle Berry, is convinced she has the key to saving us all. But only one astronaut from her past, Brian Harper, played by Patrick Wilson, and a conspiracy theorist, Houseman, played by John Bradley, believes her. These unlikely heroes will mount an impossible last-ditch mission into space, leaving behind everyone they love, only to find out that our moon is not what we think it is. Directed by Roland Emmerich, and written by Roland Emmerich and Harald Kloser and Spenser Cohen, and produced by Roland Emmerich and Harald Kloser. The film also stars Michael Pena, Charlie Plummer, Kelly Yu, Ikwuakor, Carolina Barczak, and Donald Sutherland. Moonfall is scheduled to be released theatrically on February 4, 2022 by Lionsgate. Without much further ado, please enjoy the world premiere video.
And then once in the high rent district when you're done. Over the shoulder,
And then one more time, let's get you guys right up to the
I can pressure it back in. You gotta do this. I don't think she's does yours say? Because if it does, the moon is back. Yeah, gotta get the stay down here something. Kelly, right in front of you, please.
Kelly!
And then lift your left. Lift your left.
Really excited. You know, I hope this is a movie that inspires people to get out of their house and venture out in this pandemic if they feel safe enough. It is a movie that should be seen on a big screen, I have to say. You know, Roland Emmerich creates these kind of worlds that you just have to see in a big way. So I hope if people are feeling safe, they'll venture out. I mean, you know, it's amazing. You know, people love these kinds of movies. They're pure escapism. You know, even he's the master of disaster. People still find a way to escape into these movies because you kind of know it's not plausible. So, you know, you just enjoy the ride. Well, because you want to see the bigness of it. You want to see all the attention to detail. You want to feel like you're actually in the action. And I don't think you can do that better than in an IMAX theater.
And should the moon start falling from the sky, are you suiting up to save the world? Are you
No, I'm run! No, there's nothing I can do.
You know, this is there's no one that does a big disaster flick like Roland, and I think because he's, you know, all the effects that have now even gotten better since the last one he did, so he's constantly pushing himself, even in the VFX department. But of course, at the end of the day, there's always a good, heartfelt story in there and some hope at the end. Oh, on a big screen. This is a movie that is intended to be on the big screen. So if you can find a theater near you, go see it. Go see it on a big screen how it is intended to be seen. I mean, there's nothing like an IMAX experience. There's nothing like sitting there and just be fully immersed in it. I mean, if you could go inside the screen, that's what IMAX is to me. I can remember almost every IMAX movie that I've seen because it's been that important to me to see it on an IMAX screen. So yeah, if you've got an IMAX near you, go see it.
No, I'm super excited, especially just like being here. You know, this was one of my dreams, just to do like a premiere here at Chinese, and you know, just being able to do it for like Roland Emmerich film, and just with such an amazing cast, and the movie was just so much fun to make. It's like I'm still pinching myself. It's amazing. Well, one of the things, especially with a lot of my scenes, a lot of my stuff, like when I got onto scene, it looked the way it was going to look. You know what I mean? So it was really cool, especially a lot of stuff inside the bunker. It's like you're walking into the space and you actually feel like you're there. You know, and I think especially I'm also kind of like a big kid, so being able to, you know, see the movie from that blue screen to now seeing like all of this it's going to be a dream come true. Well, it's just great because a lot of these people have been watching since, you know, I was young. So being able to act across from them, it was also, again, another dream come true. And they're just super talented, and everybody was just so nice and so welcoming. It's beautiful. I just believe that this movie is an experience. So I think you need to have everything in line, especially when you're watching this movie. You know, the sound, I mean, that big picture, and you just want it to be immersive on that screen. So, you know, just really kind of being able to see it, especially like just as a perfect seat, will be a blast, you know? Am I soon up to save the world? First off, I need to know exactly what my tools are available. If they're just like, just say jokes until the moon comes and crashes, I'll be that guy. And then I'll just watch it as it's coming down. Or hopefully I could lift enough weights between then that I could stop the moon from coming.
I'm really excited because I'm a big NASA nerd in real life. So I actually really wanted to be an astronaut. My mom wanted me to go to military school because apparently that's the way to do it, and I'm not the least bit disciplined in that way. So thank God this movie's here so I can pretend at it. Let me just say this. It was a masterclass because it's like, look, this is a crazy thing about the world, you know, having the moon crash into it. There's a lot of gobbledygook to get through, and all the big heavy hitters, all the top guys on the call sheet, they say the stuff in such a way that you believe it. So it was fun to be around and try to suck up some of that talent and try to regurgitate it. Because it's the moon! I mean, you can't fit that thing on any screen out of any size, so obviously the biggest one you can get, the better.
This movie is like, it's obviously massive. We all know why we're here. It's like it's such a spectacle, but to see this thing in IMAX is going to be like, I love movies. I love IMAX movies, and seeing my little scrawny ginger self in IMAX is going to be very fun. But this is the kind of movie that you want to see in a theater. You want to see it in IMAX. I'm sorry. And yeah, I'm just excited that a year ago we were shooting this in freezing Montreal in a pandemic, and we're still in a pandemic, but it's still nice to see, you know, the fruits of everyone's labor. A lot of people worked really, really hard on this movie, and so I'm a tiny, tiny bit of it, and I'm stoked to be here to celebrate it for sure. They can expect the kind of movie that you go to the movie theater to see, the kind of movie that you want to see on the biggest screen possible, where it's fun, it's funny, but it's also just fun, and there's, you know, the stakes are high. Obviously, we don't want this thing to crash into the earth, and yeah, it's just one of those movies where you take the whole family to go see because it's, like Roland's past work, a classic kind of get some popcorn, sit down in the cinema, watch it, and it's got so much spectacle and so much scope and scale that people are going to lose their minds. Oh my God, let's be clear. I'm a very small part of this cast, but we've got some ridiculous actors in this movie doing amazing work. Like, I only got to work with a few. I didn't get to work with Halle or Patrick, but I'm so stoked to see what they've done. But yeah, Michael and Charlie were the folks that I worked with, and my ginger crew of Kyle and Katie. We got to have a lot of fun together. And yeah, the kids were great too. Everyone was just like bringing their A game. And we had to work through some crazy pandemic stuff to make it happen, but everyone killed it. So I'm stoked to see them too.
Unbelievably excited. It hasn't hit me yet, but I'm excited to hear my song in the film, for sure. The song's about just, you know, the inevitability of an explosive and chaotic relationship coming to an end, and I feel like there's a little bit of a parallel with that and, you know, the world we live on today. And yeah, I still can't believe it. I don't think it'll hit me until I see it on the screen and hear it, and I'm just so lucky to be able to be here tonight in person to celebrate this film. I think there's a nice escapist narrative of, discussing the environment in a serious way, but, sometimes I think telling the story in a entertaining way is necessary when it comes to topics like the Earth and its well-being. So the acting is incredible, Halle Berry is incredible, Patrick Wilson, everyone's incredible. I think it's a lot of fun, and I'm excited for everyone to see it.
I'm really excited because I could see the actors I worked with and see my friends I made. This is my first movie, so I was a little nervous at first, but when I got the hang of it, I wasn't nervous, and I talked to people, and then that's basically it. The one thing I'm looking forward to is my own stunt. The moon pulled me up, and I had to move my arms a little and my legs, and then I had to do my lines.
I mean, I think Halle really grounds this movie for some odd reason, because she's kind of normally not in these kind of films, so that's kind of really good. And then Patrick, I think, is just such a good actor. I mean, it's incredible. And so I think they had good chemistry together. And yeah. Well, we kind of shot one scene which was pretty much flying inside the moon, and that's a whole sequence. But I actually really, really love it. You know what I mean? It's it's rarely that you do a movie and really love a sequence, but that's for me well, because it's IMAX, first of all. Now, I didn't shot with IMAX cameras but I think we upgraded it, and we also didn't change the format, which I don't really like, jumping IMAX. But it is IMAX, and that's kind of the best way to see a movie. Well, you know what, when you have a car that prominent in a film, you're looking for partners, because they can give you extra exposure, etc., etc. And we made a deal with Lexus, and they were very, very accommodating to us. Honest to God, this was amazing. They gave us on very short notice, after 3 weeks, their car, because we had to kind of scan it in the computer and photograph it and stuff. And yeah, and then we shot it.
Oh my God, it's really exciting. It's a really wonderful way to sort of celebrate, what it takes to go into space, the dangers of going into space, in sort of a very fictional setting, but in a way that really celebrates space exploration in general. Yeah, no, definitely. Well, Roland Emmerich was wonderful. He reached out to us with Harald Kloser, and I had a meeting out here with them to sort of talk generally about the collaboration. And they were really open to having us look at the script. And then we had our chief scientist, Jim Green, actually was involved. He actually helped them with sort of the orbital mechanics of the moon and how the science really works around moon exploration. And he was really wonderful. And then we actually went over the script, and we went back and forth. There's something really wonderful in the script. You can see a first glimpse of the Space Launch System, which is a rocket that's going to be going up to the moon later this year. In the spring, towards the spring. So we're very excited about that's actually in the film as well, so you see a glimpse of that. And it's just generally a wonderful, celebration of exploration, of people trying to work together to get through really, really hard times, which a lot of people can associate with these days. And it's just an exciting experience. It's extremely important. We're really working on diversity and inclusion issues. We have, yesterday, Halle Berry had an Instagram Live with Vanessa Weish, who's our first African-American director of a NASA center. So in a way, Halle plays both that character, a leader at NASA, but also an astronaut. So it's just wonderful to sort of see the diversity, not only of color, but of gender. So it's really, really important.
Oh my God, there's no words. It's like a miracle that the movie was able to be made in these crazy times. And after, all kinds of mountain climbing and falling back down and climbing back up, we're here. It's just joy. it's a labor of love for us. We always like to have people in a movie that they can shed a little tear, but also laugh a little. And this all in the mission to show how great the human spirit is. Well, Lexus just has, number one, a cool car. Then I'm actually also getting one for myself personally because it's so cool. So when you look at cars, you obviously in your heart also always think a little bit, well, this would be the coolest, you know, no matter about all the dealings in the background. But in this case, we kind of the coolest and the best and the greatest for our movie got into the movie, and now we're super proud that we have this partnership. You know, this song, obviously I'm the proudest daddy in the whole world right now, but no, not only now, I'm always proud of them. And but when we placed this song, you know, for the screenings and the test screenings, and suddenly people, it was not intended to be in the movie. We always thought like, oh, you know, maybe we're gonna, whatever song is gonna go there. And then people started coming to Roland and saying, oh, that song is great. And so I didn't even have to do much of selling to the others. It was a little secret that this is Luka's song. And then people came and said they liked it. And so it snuck itself in by itself.
It's very exciting because it's kind of bringing the movies into the real world and what we want to see in the real world. And so all the work that we'll do on the moon should help us understand the human body better, help us to develop propulsion systems, develop different technologies so that we can go to Mars and then even maybe deeper into space after that. So everything that we're doing now, we're hoping to bring everything that's happening now here more inclusive, if that makes sense. So we want things to be much more inclusive. Besides, 50% of the population is women, and we do want to be more inclusive in all races, genders. It doesn't matter their creed. We want to be more inclusive and more global. And so I think that NASA's message is kind of portrayed in this, even though, we kind of helped with the script. We did several things on this Moonfall project. So we are definitely involved in promoting it and happy with the work that they're doing. Well, having been involved with WorldCon and science fiction writers who really want to get it proper and right, it's important for NASA too. Everything may not be exactly perfect, but just like Star Trek in the past, they had iPhone and FaceTime before we even knew it. But everything that you see, we hope that it'll inspire the next generation to come along and, who knows, develop these new technologies to propel us into the future. Well, hopefully soon, but the journey has been amazing. I mean, my background has been very, very sordid and beautiful all at the same time. I'm an aerospace engineer. I worked at Ford Motor Company on vehicles and aerospace issues there. Then I worked at the CIA, and now as an astronaut, my training has been phenomenal. And learning to fly the T-38 jets, learning to do a spacewalk, robotics, and learning about the International Space Station has been amazing. But also along with that, all the analog missions that we do. I've lived in a cave, I've lived underwater, I've lived in the wilderness several times. So I am looking forward to the mission to space because everything that we do on the International Space Station, everything is to propel us into the future, is to get us to the moon, figure out how the human body can last longer without the Earth's protection. How can we develop different foods, countermeasures, learn different technologies to exploit the moon for resources so that we don't have to upmass all of that, and develop propulsion systems that can use those in situ materials to go deeper into space. So I'm very excited. Everything that each individual astronaut does goes towards getting us further and further into the future. Well, that has been the goal of the Commercial Crew Program, is that we help develop these technologies with Boeing and SpaceX, and thereby helping them to get commercial crew into space. We have Axiom happening in March 2022, and then we even had recently Inspiration 4. So all of these missions is to help other people and everybody who has an interest in space get there and see what we see and share the experience. Well, I'm looking forward to how NASA participated and how they incorporated all those details. That's one thing I'm looking forward to. And just seeing the show, I am a big science fiction fan. As you go into Worldcons and all these different experiences, but I'm a big science fiction fan because I really do believe that life sometimes, imitates science fiction. I mean, I always think about the FaceTime and how as a kid I always wanted this on-screen thing, watching Star Trek. So, I'm looking forward to seeing everything. I'm very much. Oh, the moon will stay. I know that's kind of like a little fictional, but it is fiction. And sometimes you need a break from real life and think about other things. Yeah.
I mean, truly, I'm still processing it. I don't know how it was pulled off at this scale in COVID with everyone with masks, lots of blue screens. I'm still honestly in shock that it exists and we're here watching it. The opening of the movie, I got to put my uncle's song in it. So that was kind of a big full circle because
Who is your uncle?
My uncle is David Page from Toto, and so we put his song in the movie, and I've always wanted to work with him since I was a little kid. So it was cool to get to put his song, and he's here somewhere.
You made it happen.
I know. It's a family affair because it's a Roland Emmerich movie, and you can't see this on a small screen. It has to be on the biggest possible screen you can imagine, and it's epic. He approached me. We'd known each other. We'd worked on some other projects. It didn't come to fruition. But this one did, and he's truly amazing. He has this ability to just keep this massive vision and scope in his head that I think a lot of people can't do. And he makes movies that are just larger than life, and he's just a wonderful collaborator and a great friend. Hopefully they walk away loving the main characters, John Bradley, Patrick Wilson, and Halle Berry. We put a lot of time into making people care about them.
Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and comment on the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when new videos are released.